So you're thinking of learning to code, right? Great! But is your computer ready for it? Have you set up your computer's environment like a pro developer? If it is not, then you are in the right place. In this video, I'll show you step by step how to set up a modern JavaScript web development environment in your Windows like a production ready system. Hi, I'm Prem Acharya from Dented Code. There are many tools available in the market for the developers, but in this video, I'll only show you those tools you need to get started with, and along the way, I'll show you how to use them and why we need those tools. I want to remind you one thing, that this is not the only way you can set up your computer's environment for modern web development. You can always get another opinion and see which one is suitable for your need. I will set up this installation process in multiple episodes, but in this episode we will install everything you need to start with as a front-end developer, and of course you're gonna need these tools and software even if you are back-end developer. And the next video I'll show you how to install and use MySQL database, MongoDB and Redis database. Hey, if you are here for the first time and if you are interested in learning to code, programming and becoming a web developer, hit the subscribe button down there and click on the bell icon. Make sure to turn on the notification so that you don't miss any of my future tutorials regarding the programming and web development. Let's over to the computer now. Let's look at what we're going to do today. So first, we will start setting up our Windows by downloading and installing Git Bash and see what is it for. Then we will install vscode and integrate the Git Bash terminal that we installed earlier. We'll learn how to use vscode by creating our very first Hello World web page. Then we will create a GitHub account. We'll learn basic feature and functionalities of GitHub. Since we are going to have the JavaScript full stack environment set up, we can't go past without installing Node, right? So we will set up Node version manager, also known as NVM, to install multi-version of the Node. Guys, if you get stuck or experience an issue, please write in the comment section. I'll try to reply as soon as possible. So let's start. Search for the Git Bash. Click on git-scm.com. Click the Windows icon to download the installation file. Wait for it to download. We are using Git Bash for two reasons. First, we are going to use GitHub as a version control and we need to run Git commands. And second, as a full stack developer, you will need to run lots of Linux commands. Windows does not understand the Linux command, so we need some sort of interpreter to convert our Linux command in the way that Windows understands. Click on the downloaded file. The user account control setting will ask your permission to install, so click yes. You'll get this setup wizard. We are going to leave all the settings as default. No need to change anything. Click next and follow the instruction until the installation process is completed. It's setting up everything needed for you to run Git and Linux command. Tick launch Git Bash and untick this. Click next. Here is the open Git Bash console. Run Git command. If you see this option, then Git CLI is working. Run git --help to open the help page. Let's try if Bash is working correctly by running few Linux commands. Run pwd. Pwd will give you the absolute path of your current directory. And also run ls and hit enter. ls means to list all the files and folders from the current directory. You can see the console pulled up all the files and folder from
my current directory, run clear to clear the screen. Since we can run the Linux command, it is safe to say that our bash is installed correctly. That's all for the Git Bash for now. Let's close it. Next, we are going to install Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code, also known as vscode, so I'll be referring as vscode here. Search for vscode, open up the code.visualstudio.com, click on download, click on Windows to download. vscode is a lightweight but very powerful source code editor. It is one of the most loved open source code editor as well. Okay, the installation file is downloaded. Click on the downloaded installation file. It will prompt the setting wizard again. Click I accept the agreement and hit next button. We will leave all the settings as default. No need to change anything here as well. Click next until the installation process is completed. Click finish to launch the VS Code. Our VS Code editor is open. It has opened the welcome page for you to guide on how you can use the editor. You can zoom in and zoom out the editor by pressing Ctrl and plus sign or minus sign. Let's say you want to load your project in this editor. You can do so from the top menu. Go to the file menu where you can open any file or folder from here. Click on the file icon to open up the project file tree here. We don't have any file now, that's why it says no folder opened. This is where you'll see all of your project files and folders when you start working on your project. The middle section allows you to make changes on the files. Another beauty about VS Code is that it has the integrated terminal. You can toggle integrated terminal by pressing Ctrl and the backtick button. You can move the integrated terminal anywhere on left, right, even at the bottom of the editor like so. Just adjust it to suit your need as per your screen size. You can see here my integrated terminal is using Git Bash because I set it up before to use some commands. If you have more than one terminal set up for your editor, it will show in the drop down list. Yours might be the PowerShell terminal here because the VS Code editor uses PowerShell by default. Let me show you how to change it to Git Bash. First, go and grab the path of the Git Bash executable file. So open up the C drive, go inside the program file, find Git folder and go inside the Git folder and get into the bin folder. Here you can see Bash executable file. We need to provide the absolute path to this file in the VS Code setting. Copy the file path. Now go to the VS Code, click on the gear icon, click setting, search terminal.integrated.shell.windows in the search bar. Click on edit on setting.json. You can see here the value of terminal.integrated.shell.windows already set to my Git Bash, but your one should be empty. Now paste the path that you copied before. Make sure you put the double slash on the path and also bash.exe at the end. Just ignore the second line. It's there because I zoomed in so that you guys can see clearly. Now save the file and you can close it. The terminal need to be restarted. Close the terminal and hit Ctrl plus backtick button to open it again. Now you should see the bash here instead of PowerShell. Quickly run ls to see if it is working and run pwd as well. If you see the output, then the integration is working correctly. Let's create a project folder. You can simply drag and drop the folder to open in the VS Code editor. Now the folder is open here. You can create any folder and file directory from here as well. Click on the folder icon to create a new folder. Give the name. If you check in your folder explorer, now you can see the recently created folder from the VS Code. Similarly, click the file icon to create a new file and give index.html file. The file is created. You can check it by going to your folder as well. You can also create a folder from your terminal. Type mkdir and give the folder name. Here you can see the folder name, new folder. Let's say if you want to create a file, you can do so by typing tots and file name. So type tots index.html, hit enter. It has created index.html file in the current directory. You can delete file by typing rm file name like so. Now create the file inside the my first project folder like so. Type tots folder name my -first -project /index.html. Okay, here is the file just created. Click the file name to open the file in an editable mode in the center of the editor. Guys, get excited. Now you are about to create your first web page ever. Well, if you haven't, so heads up, there is something called Emmet extension which is integrated with the VS Code. So what it does is it helps you to write code faster with the code snippets. So here, if you just type exclamation mark and hit enter, voila! Now you have a boilerplate for a web page. If you didn't have the Emmet extension here, you would have to type all of this. Don't stress about anything you have seen here at the moment. You'll learn all of them when you start building pages. In here, just type hello world and save the file. If the file is not saved, you can see the white dot here like so, and also it says unsaved here. Now we need some sort of server. Let's get to the extension, search for the live server. I have already installed, but you should see install button here. Click on it and let it finish installing. Once the installation is completed, close it and go to our index file. Right click on the file and click on open with a live server. It will open the web page in your default browser. Here is mine. Haha! Your first page is now up. Congrats, guys! Let's put it side by side. The live server is really powerful. You can change the page content and save it. It will instantly update in your browser. Okay guys, that's all for the VS Code for now. I just want to let you know that I'll be using VS Code for most of my future tutorials. Let's configure our computer for GitHub. I need to tell you this. GitHub is one of many version control systems available in the market. I can't stress enough how important it is to learn a version control system even before start learning to code. It is a must learn tool. It allows us to store our code in the cloud securely and able to work together with other people. It will keep the history of your all the changes. So guys, you should learn at least basic of version control like GitHub even before learning to code. I'm just repeating that again. Please do that. It's important. Okay, let's create GitHub account and integrate with our computer. Head over to github.com. Provide username, in my case dented code. It has to be unique, so just use your favorite name or word. Then enter email and password. Hit sign up for GitHub. It will send you an email to confirm your email. Go to your email and follow the instruction to verify your email. Come back to the GitHub page again and click sign in. Once you signed in, this is what you're gonna see. Don't stress about all these available options. Let's create a repo. Click on the plus icon which is on the top right corner and click create a repository. You can also call repo for repository. So repo is things like this. Repo is your project and all of your code will reside inside that folder, inside that repo. Give repo a name, getting ready web development. Leave description empty. If you don't want to share your repo to anybody else, then choose private, otherwise choose public. Click create repository button. The repository has been created and this is the URL for my repo. You should have your URL slightly different. This information is useful when you set up the repo in your computer and if you want to push that repo to here. Let's go to our computer, open the project folder, delete our old code. We will download our repo in this folder. Copy this remote repo URL, right click in the folder and open up the Git Bash. Type git clone and paste the link here and hit enter. It will download all the file and folders from the remote repo. Now you can see the folder name, which is exactly same as the repo name that you created earlier. Open the project folder in our vscode by running code and folder name. There is the vscode open with folder. Let's create index file like so. And write our web page. Again type exclamation sign and hit enter. It will lay down all your HTML code for a page. Write hello world again and save the file. Hit Ctrl plus backtick to open the integrated terminal. Remember this URL for your repo. You can confirm from here. Just type git remote -v. It will give you the source of the original of the repo. Let's synchronize this file to our remote repo. Git status let you check the status of the file. It is saying that you are in the master branch and you have recently created a file which is indicated by the red color. You need to add this file to add in the local git index so that we can commit to our change history. You can use git add file name to add single file or dot to include all the modified files. Run git dot. Now our file is ready to be staged. Run git commit -m and write some message in the double quote. Let's say my first commit. This will not work yet. And throw some message. I want to show you that. See, it's saying please tell me who you are. The git CLI in your computer does not know who is doing these changes because we haven't set up name and email in the git config file in our computer. So you can check that like so. See, it does not return any data. Let's set them up. Simply copy this one and give your email which is associated to your GitHub account. And do the same thing for your name. So mine is dented code, you put yours. Now check it like so. You can also check the config file like so. You should see your name and email. Now commit your change. Run git status. It's committed without any issue. Quickly check our remote URL of the repo. Yes, that's the one. Let's push our new file to our remote repo. Type git push u origin master. Since we are running this git push command, it will ask you to authenticate our GitHub account. It will pop up a window to login. Use your GitHub login credential to authorize your computer to your GitHub account. Your computer is authorized to push the code now, and the code is pushed to your repo. Let's go to our GitHub account, refresh the page. Here is the index you have created in your code editor and used git command to push the code. Just to make it clear, let's do it again. Make some changes on the file. Run git status, the file name is red. Run git add dot to add the file. Git status again, the file name is green. Git commit -m, write message, and do the git push. If you can realize that I am not using -u origin master after git push. You only need to do that to run for the first time. For the subsequent pushes, you don't need that. And it did not ask to log in again because the GitHub is remembering our computer. Let's go to the repo. Here you can check when the file was committed and what is the committed message. Click on the committed message to see the changes. The red line means the line was deleted and the green line means the line was added. This is how GitHub shows your changes. You can also change your file content from here. Click on code, click on the file name, click on this edit pencil icon and change the content. Save the file by clicking on commit change button. You just updated your file in the repo, but your local file is behind of that change. You can synchronize that change to your local by running git pull command like so. See, the file content is updated. Just remember few commands such as git status to check the status of your file changes, git add file name to add one file, o dot to add all the change files, git commit -m and message in the double quote to commit the changes, git push to push your changes to the remote repo, and git pull to bring down all the changes made in the remote repo to your computer. That should be status. Sorry about that. Okay, this is all about the GitHub basic and how to create GitHub account and set up in our Windows machine. Okay guys, let's install Node.js. Search for the Node.js. Black Lives Matter. It wasn't there a couple of days ago. I do support Black Lives Matter very strongly. If anybody is against it, please exit this video. Okay, move on. As you can see here, there are two versions. One 12.18.1 LTS version and the second is the 14.1.4 current version. The LTS means the long-term support version, which is stable. If you are writing code for the production, then you'll definitely use the LTS version. The current version is the future update. You can always check and play with the new features with the current version. This is not recommended for the production. So I would like to use NVM to download multiple versions of Node runtime environment. I will use NVM to download multiple versions of Node runtime environment. Let's install NVM. Go to the link. It's in the description below and follow the instruction. Click Windows NVM repository link. Click on Download Now link. Search for nvm-setup.zip file and click to download. Open in the folder. Open the folder and double click on the installer file. The user account control setting may ask your permission to install the file, so hit yes. The installation wizard opens. Accept the agreement and hit enter. Leave all the default setting as it is. No need to change anything here. Hit next and OK until the installation is completed. If you have already installed Node in your computer, it will ask you if you want NVM to manage that installation or not. So say yes. Click finish to finish. NVM is now installed. To confirm, open Git Bash, type NVM. It will give lots of options. If you scroll up, you can see the version of NVM. Run NVM ls to list all the installed version of Node. See, I have two versions, LTS and the current version. The LTS version is currently used in my system. Run NVM list available to see the available version to download. Let's download the current version. Run NVM install version number 14.4.0 as per my recording day. I have already installed, that's why it's saying already installed, but in your case it will start downloading. Do the same thing. Do the same to download the LTS version as well. Once the download is completed, NVM ls to see install versions. The star sign means the version is currently being used. If you want to change your runtime version of the node, simply run NVM use version number. You may get user account control permission pop-up window. If so, click yes. Now the version is switched. Run NVM ls to confirm. Let's put back to LTS version. Let's check if our node is working or not. Type node to access node runtime environment console. You can run node code directly here and execute it. Do 2 plus 3, that's 5. Also do const a equals to 2, const b equals to 3. Do a plus b should give you 5. That means node working as well. Don't worry about the syntax here, guys. We will go deep down into node in the future tutorials. Press Ctrl plus C twice to exit the node console. Let's close it. That is all for the front end setup.
Thanks for watching this, guys. Hope you like this video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon and make sure to turn on the notification so that you don't miss any of my future tutorials. See you next time.